Hey, welcome to Versus. I'm JWMaher, and that's Will Cohen. Well, how you feeling this week?
I'm feeling good. Ironically, I feel like after I cut my hair, the films that we cover are getting longer, and or maybe they're just more painful. I don't know.
Both.
Both. That's fair. But John, let me ask you something. If I told you that someone was dumb enough to remake Twilight without the sparkly vampires and it still sucks, would you believe me?
Given the nature of the show, I think I have to believe you.
Yeah, because that's the movie we watched.
Yeah, we watched. It's such a weird title too. I mean, it's not like a bad title. It's just a strange way to word it. This is The Kiss of a Vampire.
I will tell you the reason why they probably named it this.
Okay, go ahead.
Because if you look, obviously we know Vampire's Kiss, very famous Nick Cage movie. They couldn't call it that.
Yeah.
But if you actually put in Kiss of the Vampire, like 20,000 titles come up.
All right.
So they had to say Kiss of a Vampire. Which ironically, if they would have just called it Kiss from a Vampire, they would have had a unique title.
Yeah, fair enough. This movie is simple. It's unabashedly simple. We have a gentleman. What's his name? His name is Wessex. Like he's Dr. Wessex, and he's a vampire. And it's clear he's a vampire from the opening scene because. But the thing is, like, sunlight doesn't hurt him, but they go out of their way, and crosses don't bother him. But the priest does go out of his way to not hit him with holy water. So that,
which means that the priest was in it the entire time.
Yeah, it's so weird. This movie falls apart under like not even the thought of thinking about scrutiny. The movie it completely falls apart. It starts with him marrying his bride, Carol, and they go off and they go and they drive to some remote upstate New York town where he is the town doctor now, and he's a vampire, and like she eventually figures it out, and like nothing fucking happens, like nothing good happens.
Like no one, like even when like people like show up, like the reason why I compare this to Twilight is the beats are very simple. Like the beats are almost exactly the same. He's just gaslighting the hell out of her the entire time until he changes her. People have theories about what's going on. They do nothing to stop it.
You are in grave danger. You must go.
Yeah. It's so weird.
And then when people show up to try and stop them, she's already pregnant with his child.
And a vampire, basically. I mean, like I've never usually like in vampire movies. I mean, there's vampire movies where there aren't vampire slayers. Let's get that out of the way. There's vampire movies where it's just vampires and vampires, like Twilight. Then there's vampires where it's vampire movies versus like regular folks, like Fright Night. Then you have your vampire movies where there is a vampire slayer, like Dracula, right? This is one of the third ones, but these are the most ineffectual, nonsensical, like powerless vampire slayers I've ever seen in my entire life.
I will circle back to the powerless because one of them kind of does, and we'll cover that because it's wild.
Yeah, this is also like they go to some town. When they first arrive at that house, it looks like they're in the middle of fucking nowhere. But then like it's like they're literally in the middle of nowhere. But then like she's able to walk to like town. And like the town is like, if the town is bustling enough to have a full-on Catholic church.
Welcome to Resurrection.
And a brothel. Like within walking distance of each other, which is cool. And there's also a fortune teller where she goes into the fortune teller, passing the sign that says fortune teller. And then she sits down at the table, and the first question she asks the lady is, "Are you a fortune teller?"
You seek guidance? Do you tell fortunes? Yeah.
Like, what writing?
I mean, if she's gonna allow herself to like be the victim of like very obvious gaslighting, I have to imagine that she doesn't know how to read.
I also want to point out that they go through like the lore of vampires, wherein like you are who you are when you were turned, right? Like he goes to the whole speech where you'll be 22 years old forever with her. But if he was turned in like a Viking raid, why does he have like real modern tattoos on his body?
I brought you home.
That would not have happened.
I mean, it's possible that he got the tattoos
That's not how vampire.
after the fact.
That's not how vampire lore. I've seen True Blood. That's not how vampire lore works at all. Like he can't get tattoos. That's besides.
Yeah, because your body would heal.
Yeah, I digress. My other main thing is like throughout the movie, like in the preface of the movie and in the epilogue of the movie, they make points that the director of this movie, who's in the movie as well, he's the older Russian vampire killer.
Go away!
Hello, Petrov.
I do not want you here.
Right.
That he's inspired by like Carl Theodor Dreyer's Vampire.
Why?
They are very simple people.
And he puts homages to them in the movie, I guess, but like it just winds up being like very insulting.
Yeah, like especially like, you know, cut to the ending, like he has like this very heartfelt messages, like he watched this as a boy and blah 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 blah, and with loving memory to this guy, and it's like, you know, you can actually feel the vibrations of the dude rolling in his grave.
Yeah, why don't you just dig the guy up and fuck his corpse? Like you would have done less, you would have disrespected him less than doing that in this movie. Like, because this movie is like, let's take a step back into the technical aspects of this movie for a second. Like, this is like day one, like middle school, like newsroom editing. Like every time a new scene happens, they fade out and they fade back in. Like it's too close for comfort or something.
Yeah, this is like 80s television fade in fade outs.
Yeah, it's like we'll be right back. That
Right.
and the acting, the lead dude is okay. And if you don't know, he was a dancer in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. He was a dancer in that movie.
Wow.
The lead woman is horrible.
She's better than the other actresses in this film. I'm just telling you right now.
But she's horrible, and then everyone else is just like community theater in rural Idaho.
Like there's Wessex, his bride, like a layer dog shit. Everyone else, and then right down below, Chrissy Wana's kids.
Yes, of course. So basically, like the whole movie is like he goes off to work. She wanders around town like she has a brain injury. She comes home. They have sex.
I came home to find you asleep in your clothes, so I undressed you. We made love.
They wake up the next morning. He leaves. She wanders around town like she has a brain injury. And this just repeats for like 96 minutes. And then at the end of the movie, but during the movie, it's like people are like, you know, he's a vampire. He's a vampire. Yeah, he's a vampire. And then like he's going around killing people. There's a scene where she almost gets raped for some reason, and he comes out of nowhere. And every time he kills somebody,
which is right out of Twilight, by the way.
Yeah,
point out.
But every time he kills someone, it's always like just blood all over his face. Like you see that same scene over and over again. It's like, I get it. You're a sloppy eater. I get it. And then it leads up to like there's the vampire killers, there's the scene, there's a weird Catholic priest, but there's a scene where he's like masturbating to internet porn for some reason.
Carol.
Like that just is in the movie.
Because why not?
And then at the end of the movie, like I guess the Catholic priest is kind of like there's the vampire killers, but also the Catholic priest whips up a mob of people to like fight him, but they're all powerless. This dude fucking just cuts through them like a hot knife through butter. Even if you're like, I don't really want to fight you, he doesn't give a shit. In the bad CGI fire and a montage, which is like one of the worst things I've ever fucking seen. It's just like he like walks into people, he's like, over and over again. It's like, oh my god, I wanted to walk into traffic. I was like, let me just pause this and just walk out my front door. It's fucked up.
And let's talk about the ripoff, the ripoff Slayer, who was clearly like body like Buffy and wardrobe like Blade.
Oh yeah, she's just like constantly hanging out in town, just like in like full, like no, everybody else is like normal, I guess, within a standard deviation of normal, but she's in like full leather with like a scabbard. It's like, call more attention to yourself.
Right. And this woman, like, I'm pretty sure if you held a gun to her head and forced her to act, you would just have to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Because, oh my God, she was obviously hired for under false, we will call it false pretenses, because the first time that we meet, she meets Carol, she goes on the whole spiel. Carol does not want to believe that she's, that she's a vampire hunter and that her bride, that her husband is a vampire, but they somehow wind up in her bedroom, which is so weird. And then she tries like stop Carol from walking away with her legs.
Grace, do not doubt me. Your husband is a vampire, and your child will be a vampire unless your husband dies during the full moon.
It's like, you were hired for a porno, and and then when Carol leaves, you can see the look on her face. It's like, oh, we're not gonna fuck.
This movie is available on YouTube, so we watched it on YouTube. I don't know where else you can find it, but it feels like, especially with some of the editing, that it was a softcore porno, and we just watched the version where all of the nudity was cut out of the movie, and it's still over an hour and a half long. So this is probably like a 2.5 hour long softcore porn movie. I'm guessing. But I'm also, there's also a few other things I need to hit on quick. Like one, Carol's character, she says she's bipolar and schizophrenic. Poor girl. But apparently she only takes one pill a day to just knock out all that shit. It's all knocked out in one pill a day. And believe me, I'm a psychologist. I know that that's not fucking true. No. And also the special effects they use to show that she's like psychotic are horrible. Then then at the end of the movie, like when the vampire's fighting the vampire slayer, it is a one-sided fight, but he also drops her from like 100 feet in the air, and she survives the fall.
Which is why I think that she has some sort of power, because she's a little bloodied up, but she's like, she crawls, then she just jumps, she just jumps up, shakes the dirt off, and she's like, okay, now I'm ready to rumble. And then she shoots Wessex, which pisses Carol off. So she goes, bites her, which Wessex tries to stop her from biting her. I'm really curious about why.
Yeah. But
she's eaten, taken out, very little fanfare.
And basically, like, since they've murdered the entire town now, I guess he doesn't need to be employed as a doctor there, but we're not. They don't even tackle that problem. It's just like now we have no source of income and we have no source of food. We fucked this up. I guess we got to move. They don't say that. I'm just assuming that. But the movie ends there. It's like every other ITN movie. It ends at like a. Are we to assume they're the bad guys? Because if they are, then the bad guys win. But if you believe love conquers all, then the good guys win. I don't know. At the expense of a bunch of innocent people.
I believe this was just like every other ITN film. I'm pretty sure the I stands for impasse.
Fair enough. Let's jump ahead to these ratings then. Yeah, I have not watched the softcore porn version of this, but the regular version with all the nudity cut out is 1 star. Not that the nudity would raise it much more. I'd probably be okay. It probably would still be a 1-star movie. Well,
I was very slightly higher on it at 1.5. There wasn't enough to feel like this was like pushing any kind of agenda, but at the same time, there is nothing even remotely close to giving it that extra half star either. The acting is atrocious. The writing is somehow even worse. And if you're going to be crediting all these other films, how dare you not credit Twilight, because you ripped off so much of the plot of Twilight for your movie. So, just 1.5.
Yeah. Next week we'll be back. We're almost to the modern day, but we're still in 2025, and some of these movies are just so rushed, and they're out on Tubi already. This one is too. 2 of our favorite ITN actors joined forces to direct. Stephen Staley and Natasha Tassini directed The Haunting at Jack the Ripper's House, which is a lot. It's a lot to unpack there, but we're going to unpack the movie next week here on Versus. Fun. If you made this far in the video, like, comment, subscribe, share, go to the Facebook group at Why We Love Horror. Please do the Letterboxd challenge. We're still getting people signing up. It's great. The Letterboxd challenge will be alive all year. We'd love to see what you're watching and interact with us. But until next time, I'm JWMaher, and that's Will Cohen. We'll be back with another fantastic movie next week here on Versus.